Alright, here we go. Hey guys, how's it going? So I saw a video earlier today, talking about which stand would be the best, just utility-wise in your day-to-day life. And that got me thinking, what would the best curse technique be in our day-to-day lives? So the framing here is, I am just sleeping in my bed, I hear a knock on my door, I go downstairs, I open my door, and Gege Akutami is standing there. Before I can do anything, he shoots me in the head. All of a sudden, I have a curse technique. What curse technique would I like? So that's what we're going to do today. All right, we're gonna start out with blood manipulation. You can see the T's as here. They range from please, which is the best one, would love, would take, would avoid, and then please no. So we're gonna start out with blood manipulation. Now, blood manipulation is a weird one. It's mostly like a battle curse technique, which, you know, I don't really want to go out and commit like acts of terrorism. So really all it would be good for is like stopping, you know, bleeding, which I mean could be good if you were a doctor, but you know, at the same time I feel like there are also better curse techniques for that, like, you know, maybe one down here. So I'm gonna put blood manipulation in would avoid, to be honest. As cool as it is in the series, in real life I just don't think it'd be very good. Body swapping. Body swapping. Body swapping, body swapping. Now this is interesting. It would mean I get to live forever, but it also means I like have to... I mean, no, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to kill people. I just get to live forever. Which would be... This is a difficult one. I feel like this is kind of the best form of immortality because, you know, with a lot of forms of immortality, you end up either living forever and then, you know, when the world's over and you're just floating through space, you're like, God damn it, I wish I wasn't immortal. But with this one, you kind of get to choose when to die, which is pretty good. I would like that. So I think I'm gonna put that in would love. Boogie Woogie. Boogie Woogie, okay. I feel like this wouldn't be very useful. It's like a super powerful curse technique in, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, and it'd be great if I was you know, out there fighting, but I'm not. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. And like, just, you know, being able to swap with things, not great. I would probably put it in. I mean, I would take it, but like, you know, I'm not. Well, no, I'm gonna put it in would avoid. Cloning. This is probably our first please. Just having the ability to clone yourself, have multiple of you. That's insane. That's insane. I get to stay at home all day, doing whatever I want, while 3 copies of me go out and work like 2 separate jobs. Oh, sorry, 3 separate jobs. Let's actually check if there's a range limit. Cloning technique, JJK. Yeah, it doesn't say that there is a range limit, but I'd imagine there probably is. So it's hard to say, but I mean it's still an incredible curse technique. I would still love it. Cursed energy discharge. This is just, it's almost solely used for terrorism. Like it's a cool curse technique, but like, come on, man. I don't want to go out and commit terrorism. Just like leave me be. Comedian. This one's a please. Please. I would love it. Because essentially what that would mean is I just have gear 5. Which, like, in real life, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. You know what, maybe we should, let's just change this tier to be called terrorism. There we go. Construction. This one's incredible. This one is incredible. Because essentially, I mean, do I even need to explain why it's incredible? I can make things. Just like, if I wanted like a sandwich, I can just make it. If I wanted like a $50 bill, crisp, boom. Like, why would I ever why would I ever work again when I could just create gold bars and sell them? So I would say this is probably one of the best ones, if not the best one. Probably in the context of Jujutsu Kaisen itself, I mean, it's one of the best ones, obviously, but in the context of Gege Akutami appeared at my door, shot me in the head, and now I'm the only person on Earth who has a cursed technique. Like, it does nothing. It does nothing for me. Contractual recreation. Okay. Contractual recreation. This one is as good as construction, if not better. I would probably say it's a bit better. Essentially, if you have a receipt, you can use that receipt to create the thing that receipt, signifies. So if I bought a kitchen knife, and then I have the receipt for the kitchen knife, I could use the receipt to create another kitchen knife. And then I just have two. So, I start out going to I go to the shops, I buy like a fucking, I don't know, chocolate bar, who cares? And then I get the receipt, I use it to create two, I sell those two, and I build my way up until eventually I am the richest person on Earth, and I don't have to do anything. It's really crazy. It's one of the best. Now, crow manipulation, on the other hand, one of the worst. I guess I could get like 50 crows to get me to fly, but I mean, there are other abilities here that allow me to fly, and like, it's kind of a terrorism first technique because, like, it just pretty much all it's used for in Jujutsu Kaisen itself. Well, this is actually an interesting conundrum. Do binding vows exist in this world where, I'm the only person with a curse technique? I would say probably no. If they do, this is a terrorism. If they don't, it goes in what a void. It has some utility, but it's just like, if binding vows really exist, then pretty much the only thing I can use it for is bird strike. Or the only good thing I can use it for is bird strike. That's, terrorism. Cursed corpse cores, I don't know if this is a technique. I think it's more of just like a property of who Panda is. But I mean, this is basically just schizophrenia, but worse. I would avoid this, because, it means I have two other people inside of me. Pause. I have two other people inside of me, and I can't, like, get rid of them. Every once in a while, I just, like, swap out. It's like, no. Explosive flash terrorism, again. The only reason why this is, like, actually usable is because of reverse curse technique, and I don't have that. I'm just a dude who can explode at will now. It's like, it's one of the most dookie curse techniques you could take for this purpose. Extinguishment, again, literally pointless in the context of I'm the only person with a curse technique. Literally pointless. Hakuna Lana, if I remember correctly, if you stick to a beat, you become stronger and your enemies become weaker. This is literally just, it's literally just a fighting ability, which I wouldn't want. Disaster Flames, again, terrorism. Like I said, terrorism, it's pretty much the, I mean, getting to control flames is cool, but, like, yeah, the only real utility I can think of for it would be committing acts of terrorism. Heart Catch? What does Heart Catch do? Let me have a look at this. Okay. This is interesting. So if you know anything about D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, there is an ability called, and I'll flash it on screen. or there's a spell called Big B's Hand. There is, if you know anything about D&D, you know that there's a spell called Big B's Hand, which essentially just makes like a really big hand that you can grab things with. So it's like telekinesis, but, you know, telekinesis light. Heart Catch is essentially that, and I would 100% take telekinesis, but I also feel like it's not as good as immortality. But I mean, it's still definitely good. It's still definitely worthwhile. Ice Formation. I feel like, is it stated that? No, okay. Here's the thing. If Uruume's Cursed Technique is what allows them to stay young, then this is Would Love. It's maybe even Please, because it essentially just means I get Kenjaku's Cursed Technique, and then also I can create a bunch of ice. But if her, they are a she, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are. Oh my word. If it's like a binding vow that allows them to stay young for so long, then this is probably Would Avoid. If it allows them to stay young forever, which, now I believe this is minor spoilers for the manga, but I believe after Sukuna dies, Uruume just crumbles into dust, which to me really could be either. It could be that, you know, Uruume's, now that Sukuna's dead, they're letting go of the cursed, or they're letting go of the hold that the cursed technique has in their body, and just kind of crumbling to dust. Or it could be that they've bound themselves to Sukuna. Well, no. Because if they had bound themselves to Sukuna to stay alive until, you know, Sukuna died, then they probably would have died when Sukuna, you know, turned himself into 20 fingers. So I believe that this is probably the Ice Curse technique that's making them young forever. In which case, it's incredible. Immortality, it's essentially the same as Kenjaku's, maybe a little worse because I do actually have to sacrifice people to keep myself alive, which I'd rather not do. Inverse, this one is probably the worst by far. Almost certainly the worst by far. You know what? I'm going to create a tier beneath it. It will kill me. Imagine this. I'm walking my my dog, my beautiful dog. She's running. She turns back to me. She runs at me, and she accidentally bumps into me, and my leg immediately snaps into like a million pieces. You know, if somebody, you know, punches me on the shoulder just a little bit too hard, I am instantly dead. Like, just the fact that, you know, it reverses damage. When am I gonna get a building dropped on me? When am I going to get a building dropped on me? I'm much more likely to get, you know, hit really softly, that would then, you know, because of inverse, turn into insane strength, that would kill me instantly, than I am to get hit really strongly, which would then turn into, you know, weaker. So yeah, inverse would almost certainly kill me. Idle Transfiguration, this one is almost terrorism, but because of the fact that I can use it on myself, it's probably Please. Just solely because of the fact that I can shapeshift. I can, you know, my shapeshifting won't be as good as Mahito's because, you know, he's a curse, I'm a human, my soul is finite, his soul is infinite, so I can't do a bunch of funny things where I like shoot myself at people, but, you know, the fact that I could turn myself into whatever I want, that's pretty incredible. Probably just a little bit below Comedian. Now, Mythical Beast Amber is going and it will kill me because if I activate it, I will die. For those of you who don't know, Kashima's Cursed Technique makes him able to control all forms of electricity, but if he activates it, he will inevitably die. Like, that's just it. He inevitably dies. Which, to be honest, I'd rather avoid. I think that that would actually fucking suck. Photo manipulation. Photo manipulation. Okay, this is weird. Photo manipulation. Essentially, if I take a photo of something, it allows me to manipulate whatever is in the area of the photo. So if I took a selfie, I could move myself like a big distance. Now the question is, what are the limits of this? If I take a photo of a water bottle, can I turn it into a bar of gold? You know, what's the limits here? It's really unclear. Because of that, I would probably say, I mean, I would take it, just solely because of the fact that, you know, it can do cool things, but we don't really know how cool the things that it can do are. Projection sorcery, the only real use I can see for this is terrorism. Look at his smug fucking face. Yeah, the only real use I can see for this is terrorism. I mean, it makes me faster, but I feel like it would make me definitely way too fast. Like, to the degree where, I just, like, I can't control it properly, and I just ram into a building and die and kill a bunch of people accidentally. So I would say projection sorcery is probably one of the worst. I'll put it above explosive flash. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna put explosive flash in It Will Kill Me, because, you know, come on. It's gonna kill me eventually. Private Pure Love Train. Hikari's Cursed Technique. Now, Hikari's Cursed Technique is, by itself, not very good. What makes it amazing is the domain expansion. But I'm just a regular dude. I'm not Hikari. I don't have the ability to create a domain expansion. So really all I get is the ability to create like train doors, which is pretty much all we see him do with it. And because of that, I'm gonna probably put it in Would Avoid. Just, it doesn't really do that much for me. I mean, again, the domain expansion, if I had the ability to, you know, cast a domain expansion, then it would be pretty good, but I mean, you know, it still wouldn't be much better. Like, I become immortal for 4 minutes, but what am I really going to do with that? Like, you know, just jump off a bridge? Why? What would the point be? And if we're talking domain expansions, there are many, many more that are much, much better. But I don't think we are talking domain expansions. I don't think that's a good shout. Now, Love Rendezvous, pretty much worthless. When am I ever going to use this? I mean, it means that I, you know, essentially create a barrier between me and then a bunch of other people, in like a star formation. But just like, why? What is the point here? What is the point here? Pretty much worthless, to be honest. I'll put it next to Private Pure Love Train, just, you know, because they're a cute couple. Look at them. Nanami, terrorism. The only thing I can really use it for is is murder, which, to be honest, I would really rather avoid. I don't want to kill people. Seance. This one's pretty fire. You know, if I have a willing participant, I can just like, I can just go to like the home of a grieving family and just be like, hey, do you want to speak to your dead loved one? I'm gonna put you know, the soul of your dead loved one into my willing participant here, and you guys can have a little conversation. And that would be you know, it wouldn't be, I don't think, particularly useful for me personally, but I think it would be like it would definitely help grieving families, and that's worthwhile, I think. Heavenly Restriction, I would put this at the bottom of please, just solely because, you know, it means that I'm super strong, super fast, blah blah blah. It also means my perception is crazy. And in a world where nobody else has cursed energy or a cursed technique, this essentially just makes me like superhuman. Which, I mean, you know, there is an argument that it could go in terrorism, but I personally think that, you know, I'd be able to do more with it than just, you know, go around and hurt people. Sky manipulation? I mean, I'd put it at the bottom of would take. Just, you know, it can do cool stuff. I believe she can fly with it. Let me check that, actually. Sky manipulation. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's essentially flight, which you know, we're gonna see we're gonna see a little later down here, which I think is gonna be a funny one. But you know, for now, it can just stay here. Cursed speech. It will kill me inevitably, because I would essentially have to no longer speak at all, and then if I, you know, if I have a heated gamer moment and I tell somebody to kill themselves, I will probably just die instantly. So yeah, I would really avoid this one. I'll put it just above explosive flash. I'll put inverse. You know, I'll put inverse above that, because I can at least live with inverse even if it's for like a short time. You know, Mythical Beast Amber can go above that, because even if I just don't activate it, then I'm fine. But yeah, these ones are pretty terrible. Judge Man. This one's also just terrorism. Like, what can I do with it? The best thing I could do with it is nobody has any cursed energy, so confiscate does nothing. Nobody has a cursed technique to confiscate either, and so the best thing I could really do is, you know, get the Executioner's sword, and then kill people with it, which I'd rather not. Also, another thing is, I don't think I'd be able to cast the domain expansion, and we don't really know what it can do other than, you know, what it can do via the domain expansion. We don't know what his actual cast technique is, I don't believe. So I would probably avoid this at all costs. But then again, I also don't think it would really do anything, so, you know, whatever. Limitless, I mean, would take. We'll put it here. You know, I can never get hurt, but not even. I can, if somebody throws a knife at me, that knife isn't going to be able to hit me because, you know, I can create infinite space. But Limitless canonically uses, like, a lot of cursed energy. And I don't have that much cursed energy, I'm just a regular dude. So I can activate it for like a second at most. And, you know, that's really not going to help me very much. So I would honestly probably put this probably below Blood Manipulation. This really doesn't do anything for me. Star Rage, terrorism. It gives virtual mass, which, I mean, hey, if I wanted to murder somebody, that would be really useful, but I don't. And I also don't think I would trust myself not to, like, just sneeze and then accidentally create a black hole. I think that would really scare me. Cursed Spirit Manipulation. In this world, there are no cursed spirits, so it's literally completely pointless. Sound Manipulation. Sound Manipulation. Let me look into this one. Sound Manipulation, JJK. Okay, semi-cursed tools. Nope. So Gakuganji's actual curse technique is he uses his body as an amp and then launches his curse technique in waves, like sound, which is only useful for terrorism. I've got to be honest with you. It would do nothing for me. Like, literally nothing. No utility here. Straw Doll? I really can't think of any use for this besides hurting people. Yeah, I really can't think of any use for this besides hurting people, and that's a real shame. Teleportation, instant S tier, instant please. That's like one of the best ones. Obviously, just being able to teleport, and I believe Wee Wee can teleport like very, very far distances. I believe he teleports outside of Shinjuku, which is like a pretty huge radius. Now, 10 Shadows. This one's interesting. I feel like it would have some utility outside of just hurting people, so I would probably put it here. Like, the utility that I can think of is, you know, maybe summoning the bull and then riding it around to get places really quickly, or using Nue to fly, stuff like that. Or even just like summoning the divine dogs to like help me cook, you know? Just having an extra pair of hands would probably be pretty useful. But I mean, it's not as good as cloning, I would say. Disaster Tides. This one's also terrorism. I'll put it next to Jogo, just, you know, for fun, for shits and giggles. Tool Manipulation. This one's kind of interesting. It's essentially telekinesis, but only on like tools, which is just patently worse than Heart Catch. But it's still definitely useful. I'd probably put it here. Trajectory. What the fuck does this do? We've reached the point where I can't remember what these cursed techniques do. There we go. Dhruv Lakdawala. That's gotta be a hate crime. Age 2000. Okay, what's his cast technique? Ikigami. Okay. Yeah, so this one is kind of dookie. Essentially, it's just me summoning a bunch of Shikigami, and the only real use for that is terrorism. I'll put it there. G War Staff. I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, this is Future Sight. Oh, I see. I really had no idea what I thought this was. Okay, this is difficult. G War Staff essentially only works during a fight, and you know, being able to see into the future is cool, but only being able to do it during a fight is pretty much worthless, because I don't want to go out and fight people. I'll put it next to Limitless, because you know, they're both kind of good in a fight for seeing into the future, but you know. Shrine. Terrorism. I mean, there is, you know, some potential for being useful, like, you know, I could use it, I don't need to, you know, carry knives anymore. Carry knives? What the fuck? I don't need to, you know, stock knives in my kitchen to cut things with. Jesus Christ. How hard was that to say? You know, I have my cursed technique and I can just, like, slice up vegetables, easy peasy. But I mean, at the same time, the cursed technique is really begging to be used to hurt people. So I'm gonna leave it in terrorism. I don't want anything to do with it. Auspicious Beast Summon. This one's gonna go with Trajectory. Again, it's pretty much just used to fight people with, which, no thank you. Okay. Solo Forbidden Area. Essentially, it makes everyone in the range's cursed techniques better, which, you know, I'm the only person with the cursed technique, so I would never use it. Smallpox, Terrorism. There are a lot of terrorism abilities in this series. I'm realizing that now. Rot Technique. Come on. Puppet Manipulation. This one is nearly as good as cloning. I would say probably put it in Wood Love. You know, it's got some definite utility, but it's also, it's not great. Paralyzing Gaze. This is really just the terrorism ability. Earth Arms. I mean, it's got some utility where, you know, I can create like arms to help me with, but it's also worse than cloning, you know? Would I rather... It's kind of similar to Robin's from One Piece. Robin's Delta Fruit, where she can, you know, create a bunch of limbs. Which, you know, it would be good in a day-to-day situation, but, you know, just not as good as cloning. So I would probably, where did I put it? Where did I put it? put it in would avoid. I'd probably put it in would take. I'll put it below full manipulation. Missile fists, come on. Blazing courage, come on. These two require me to be in a fight to use them essentially, which, you know, I don't want to fight people. Come on. Miracle storage, this one is just patently better than limitless, at least for me, because Naruto can use it and he has barely any cursed energy. So I'd be in a similar position to him, where, you know, let's say I cross the road, you know, without looking both ways, and I get hit by a car. The car's gonna swerve to avoid me, and I don't die. Or, you know, let's say I accidentally, I'm cutting some vegetables and I accidentally cut myself. Boom, no I don't. I just barely avoid it. I would put this in would love, maybe please. I'll put it in please. Just to, yeah, I'll put it in please. Gravity manipulation. This is very, very similar to Star Rage, which is up here. So I'm going to put it next to Star Rage because, you know, both of them essentially allow me to create gravity. I don't want that. I really don't want it. I mean, you know what? Actually, it could be good for, like, I could fly. I could fly. You know what? I'll put that next to where is it? Sky manipulation. There it is. Disaster plants. Look at that. They're all together. They're a big happy family. I wouldn't want any of these. Idle transfiguration is the only good one. Hanging? What the fuck? Hanging? What the fuck? What the fuck? Hang targets to death using a noose and a doll. What the fuck? Okay, this one is going at the bottom of terrorism. That's... I didn't realize it. I didn't realize our Cursed Technique did that. I thought it was just like a funny puppet. No, it's like genuinely murdering people. Okay, Scorpion Stinger Hair. Pretty much worthless. I mean, I'll put it in would avoid. I'll put it above Boogie Woogie, to be honest. Just because I feel like I could do things with it, but not, like, enough to make it worthwhile. Jetpack Hair. These two are going to be the most controversial, maybe. I put these both in would love, because essentially they allow me to fly. So no caveats, I'm able to fly now. Which, you know, I look pretty goofy, but I'd fucking take that in a heartbeat. I'm able to fly, are you kidding me? I'll take it. Yeah. Now that I'm looking at this this entire thing is so fucking strange looking. You've got Shrine like down here somewhere. Yeah, down here. Okay, whatever. Injury halting, this one is the better version of blood manipulation. I'd put it at the top of, around the top of would love. Because essentially what that means is I can work as an EMT. I arrive in an ambulance to somebody's house. They're bleeding to death. I just put my hands on them. Boom, you're not bleeding to death anymore. Let's get you to the hospital. It would be pretty incredibly useful. I mean, again, heavy manga spoilers ahead. We see that in, you know, one of the most recent chapters that Nobara actually managed to survive having half of her face blown off through this Cursed Technique. So, you know, it clearly does stuff. It's clearly very useful. And finally, disaster roaches. And I think this is a you know, really a symbol of this tier list. We're putting it in terrorism. All it does is hurt people, which, you know what, honestly, thanks but no thanks. I'm good. Yeah, I think we're gonna go over which ones I would genuinely take for my my day-to-day life. So if I wanted to you know, see the world, do a bunch of things, I would probably either take immortality or teleportation. Or, you know, I would either take teleportation or ice formation, because, you know, I can keep myself young forever and then also, like, surf around on ice, go see the world, or I could just teleport. if I wanted to become super rich and, you know, change the world for the better, I'd probably go with contractual recreation. If I just wanted to be a lazy bastard, I would go with if I wanted to be a lazy bastard, I would just go with cloning in a heartbeat. Because, you know, it means I'm able to just sit at home all day, sleep, do whatever I want, while, you know, clones of myself go out and do everything I want. Go out and do all my responsibilities for me. That'd be pretty epic. Now, if I wanted to shapeshift, Idle Transfiguration, pretty goated. Miracle Storage, also pretty goated. But, you know, everything in Please would be pretty incredible. Personally, I think I would probably take Contractual Recreation. Just because I think I could do so much with it. Yeah, I think that's about it. It's been real, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.